Well, here we go, getting on to our new notes page titled Graphing Proportional Rates. Okay, so if you look at our title, we're going to be making some graphs of rates that are proportional. Okay, meaning you're going to have an x-axis and a y-axis. You're going to be plotting points using your proportional rates to make lines. Yay. Okay, so before we can get all the way here to making a graph, we're going to need to start by making our tables. Okay, so if we're looking at a scenario, let me just cover up a little bit of that. If we're looking at a scenario, two friends are each saving money in their bank accounts. Marcus saves $10 each week and David saves $15 each week. Okay, these both are proportional, can create proportional rates because for every week Marcus saves $10 more. So 1 week we're going to have $10. 2 weeks we're going to have $20. 3 weeks we're going to have $30. And do you see how all of these three fractions are proportional? If you were to simplify these two, they would end up still being 1/10. Okay? So we're going to make tables that essentially use these proportions. Okay? So for one, now we're looking at Marcus first. Okay? So we have Marcus's table. So for 1 week, we already decided he's saving $10 total. For 2 weeks, he's going to be saving $20 total. 3 weeks, he's going to be saving $30 total. Okay, do you see each time I'm just adding $10 more because he saves $10 each week? And for 4 weeks, he's going to have saved $40 total. Now, over here in this part, we see x comma y. If you guys remember, those are coordinates. Okay, so basically our x comma y is going to be, weeks will be what we put for x. So it would be 1, comma, and y is what we're going to put for our total. So 1, 10. Okay. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to write both of these tables down, and I want you to fill them in the rest of the way. Pause the video now and do that. All right, check over my filled in tables and see if they match yours. If not, you can fix whatever it is you messed up on your notebook. Okay? Now we're going to take our coordinate points and we're going to graph them on a graph. Okay? So in your notebooks, I want you guys to make a little graph like this. Okay? Now, if you've been learning anything in science, and hopefully in my class, is that this cannot just be a graph all by itself. What other things do we need for our graph? Well, we're going to need titles, okay? So we're going to need to put the independent variable along the x-axis and the dependent variable along the y-axis. Okay, so what is our independent and our dependent? Well, it kind of already tells you. Weeks is x, right? Weeks is our independent variable for x. And money is our dependent variable for y. So we're just going to make sure we label our independent and our dependent variable. You would write money saved right here. Okay, so write money saved right here. There's going to be one more thing we need, but we'll wait just a minute to see until we get there. All right, so here we have our graph. Now don't forget, also along with your labels, you need to have your increments labeled. So on our x-axis for weeks, we're going by ones, right? First week, second week, third week, fourth week, okay? But for our y-axis, it doesn't make much sense to go by ones, okay? Because on our table, we got all the way to 60. So if we went by ones on our y-axis, it would take a long time to get all the way to 60. So instead, I skip counted by tens. Okay, now you could skip count by 20s or you could skip count by 5s, but I found for this problem that skipping by 10s was easier. So we need to figure out where we're going to plot our points. Looking back at our table, we're going to plot our points at 1, 10, 2, 20, 3, 30, and 4, 40. So 1, 10, 2, 20, and remember we always do the x-axis first, 3, 30, and 4, 40. Now at 0 weeks, how much money did Marcus have? $0. So we can also put a point there. And you connect the dots to make a line. Okay? The next thing you might do is grab a different color. Now I'm going to be using a different color for David. I'm going to use red for David. Okay, this is just so we can tell them apart. So for David, we need to plot 1, 15, 2, 30, and so on. So let's start plotting for David. And make sure you're also doing this on your graph. Okay, you need to have this in your notes, this whole table with all these points that we're plotting. Okay, so for David, it's 1, 15 this time. The second dot we're plotting is 2, 30. So 2, 30, then 3, 45, and 4, 60. Same thing at 0 weeks, he also had $0. So we can connect our dots. Sorry, my line's a little ziggy-zaggy. Hopefully yours is straight, and there we go. There's only one more thing we have to add to our table, and that is, oh, mine is flip-flopped. Hold on. That is our key. The key is very important, okay? So purple was Marcus, and red is David. Okay. So these are all the essential elements to graphing your proportional ratios. All right, now that we've done one together, let's see if you can do one by yourself. Go ahead and pause the video and see if you can create a ratio graph from this scenario. First, start with your tables, and then we'll move to the graph. Pause the video now to create your tables. All right, this is what your table should look like. Okay, now to make our graph. Go ahead and pause the video and make a graph, just like our last graph. So here is my graph. Hopefully yours looks just like mine. Now, this time I skip counted by something else, okay? Make sure that your graph has your labels, it has the numbers that you skipped by, and it has your key. Those are all very important elements to our graphs. Awesome. Well, we will practice this some more in class tomorrow. See you guys later.